Bring it in, guys. Bring it in. I'm going to tell you a secret. Leo Carlsson for the Hart. Welcome to Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everydayer. I'm Kyle Carr. Welcome to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Before we begin, I have to say happy 250th birthday to all my fellow Marines out there, and happy Veterans Day to all of those who have served and are currently serving. Thank you for your service. Definitely missed the boys. Got to hang out with some of my fellow Marines this Monday, so enjoyed the birthday there, but also been enjoying some Anaheim Ducks hockey. Unfortunately, the Colorado Avalanche and the Anaheim Ducks winning streak. We'll get into that game a little later, and we'll get into the weekend against Winnipeg, Vegas, and just discuss where the Ducks stand in the league right now. But first, I want to get into the most important topic that there is to be discussed right now, and that is that Leo Carlsson is a Hart Trophy candidate. I'm calling it right now. He is coming out with the Hart Trophy. The way that this young man is playing is absurd. He is playing so well. Last year, only getting 20 goals on the season. He's already at 11 goals, and he's only played 16 games so far. Already over halfway to his goal count last year, and he's been on a tear. Tonight against Colorado, he's the only Anaheim Ducks scorer, and he had tons and tons of chances. He kept pushing and pushing. He battles so hard, and he's trying to make plays. He's grinding through guys, deking dudes out, deked his own players at one point, and he just continues to try to get that puck in the back of the net at any means possible. But right now, there's another record broken by Leo Carlsson. He just became the youngest Anaheim Duck player to reach 100 points, beating out Hall of Fame Paul Kreider. So this guy already setting records left and right and continues to break Anaheim franchise records. Does it again tonight against Colorado. Right now, 16 games played for Leo Carlsson, 11 goals, 15 assists, 26 points on the season already. Carlsson now in his career has 147 games played in the NHL, has 43 goals, 57 assists, 100 points total, and he's on an 11-game scoring streak right now for the Anaheim Ducks, playing out of his mind all broadcast long. They kept mentioning just Leo Carlsson looked possessed. He was trying to get the boys up on the score sheet more than just the one goal that he got. And Leo Carlsson is just over a month away from turning 21. This is a 20-year-old player just outworking veterans, playing a strong sense of hockey. He plays so hard and relentless, and he's always in the right position, whether it's on the defensive side of the puck, offensive side of the puck. He just seems to be in the way, causing mayhem for the other team, or when he's got it, he's making beautiful plays with Troy Terry. Got some great chemistry going on with him. And then having Chris Kreider there, kind of just working that veteran presence, being on the outside, not letting guys really touch Leo Carlsson and being there for the garbage that gets laid out. This line is buzzing right now, and Leo has been at the center of it. He comes to work every day, it seems like, with the biggest smile, and he's just such a cool dude. And he's the heart of this team, and no pun intended. That's why I think this guy is going to be the Hart Trophy candidate, especially for the Anaheim Ducks. Like, he is putting the team on his back. Obviously, all these guys are playing well together as a team, but it seems day in, day night, day in and day out. He is doing anything and everything he can to get on the board, to get the Ducks working hard. He's one of the fastest guys out there. Doesn't have this crazy, you know, quick feet, jumping around type skating, but he gets to where he's going when he needs to quickly. And he can, that transition game that he has is so heads up. He knows exactly where he's going. He reads the play extremely well, utilizes his forwards and support and the defense, and he's in there hounding pucks. And this is what I Verbeek saw. I had to say today on Twitter, I was like, look, hats off to you, Pat Verbeek, for blessing the Anaheim Ducks with this gem that is Leo Carlsson, because he is a phenom out there. He's already getting compared to players like Alexander Barkov. Even I've heard a Bergeron reference out there. He's just such a heads up, smart player, and continues to play a good 200-foot game. Uh, could see him even being a Selke candidate at some point. Maybe not this year, but as he just matures and matures, that's definitely out there on the table for him. And his ability to find the back of the net is absurd. It's outstanding. He continues to just put in different types of goals too. Sometimes it's through a crazy stick handle, or it's just him being in the right spot, ready, presenting the stick, getting the shot off, or he comes in on the rush, gets a nice snipe off, or he receives that a beautiful feed from Troy Terry. Every single type of goal that could be scored, that is what Leo Carlsson is doing. And I'm just excited to watch him. I cannot believe 11 game streak right now, and I can't, like, after watching tonight, the Avalanche, clearly they are the team on top right now. They are the team to beat, and they proved it to Anaheim today. But Carlson was right there the entire game. He was in there hounding pucks, really trying to get more pucks in on net, and it just couldn't happen. Wedgwood played well, and the Ducks couldn't capitalize on their opportunities. And we'll get into that more in the next segment. But the way that Leo Carlsson is playing, expect a ton more goals out of this guy. At least getting to 30 goals is going to be very, very feasible for Leo Carlsson this year. And he's going to be rounding up the assists as well. He's not just going to be a goal only guy. He's playing everything solid and well-rounded, and he's doing exactly what Quenneville's asking of him. He's out there on the power play, getting good power play goals. He got 2 of them against Winnipeg at home. Absolute dynamic player right now, and he's going to take away the Hart Trophy this year. I'm calling it right now. Leo Carlsson, Hart Trophy winner. But we do need to talk about where the Ducks are having some issues, and I feel like they were glaring in the Avalanche game. We'll get into that coming up next. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you for making Locked On. Oh, that is it there. I got ahead of myself there. Apologies on that. But I do want to say thank you for making Anaheim Ducks your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the number one sports broadcast or podcast network. sorry, getting a little flustered because just like the Anaheim Ducks were today, they were just overwhelmed. And you know what? I feel a little overwhelmed after that game. I was really excited. I was really hoping for a win. I was having this conversation the other day with my friend, and I was like, well, eventually, like, they can't win them all. And there's going to come a day when they lose. And, like, I don't want to get in that space where, like, I'm so, like, thinking that we're going to win every game because they were on that streak, and 7 games in a row. That's huge. And they were buzzing, beating teams like Winnipeg and beating Vegas and Dallas. And I was like, you know what? They could take the Avs. I don't see why not. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And I had to come to terms that, sometimes a team's just better than you. And honestly, the 2 teams that the Ducks have lost to that were 4-1 games are that I said those teams look extremely good. Like, those are good hockey clubs. Was the Carolina Hurricanes and now the Colorado Avalanche. And they they brought it to the Ducks today. The Avs took advantage of some glaring weaknesses that popped up on the Anaheim defense, and the Ducks found themselves behind this one quick, right off the hop. Avalanche score on the first shift of the game, 20 plus seconds in to the first period, right off the hop. Avalanche, boom, get a goal. And that it I think shell shocked the Ducks a little bit. They were a little overwhelmed on that first period. Like, every single play was either a choppy pass or giving up a giveaway or just letting them get back on them and kind of cut them off. And they were getting hemmed in their own zone a bunch. And it took a minute for the Ducks to really get into the game. But once they did, I felt like they were kind of bringing it back and forth with Colorado. They weren't down and out the entire game. Leo Carlsson finally gets the Ducks on the board to tie it right towards the end of the first period. That ends up being the only Anaheim Duck goal of the game, though. Jacob Trouba helping get that one in. And to see Leo Carlsson continue this 11-game streak, I know he just spent the last 10 minutes talking about them, but it's just huge. Like, he is coming up clutch. He's playing such a good style and brand of hockey right now. And it was all just him being right there in the right place at the right time, getting one in the net. But the Ducks, they just struggled this game. The Avalanche were in their face, all up on them real quick. Like, the forecheck was a very aggressive by the Avalanche, and then in the physicality part of being in the defensive zone, just seemed like the Avs were out muscling the Ducks, whether on their sticks or in the corners against the boards. They took advantage of every little thing that they could, and the Ducks got flustered. They got a little flustered. They were leaving some holes open in the defense. Landeskog gets his first goal of the regular season. That's his first regular season goal since like March 2022, I believe was the month, but it's been since 2022 since he had a regular season goal. The Ducks give up his first, so kind of a historical goal in that sense as well. But and it all just came from getting out muscled. Jackson Lacombe just couldn't stay strong on the stick on Landeskog, and he bops in a weird bouncer on Dostal, and that was kind of the it factor for this team. They end up getting a power play goal later as well. And the Ducks just kind of beat themselves. They weren't getting the puck out clear. The defensive zone was really tough for them this game. They would kind of get the puck, and as soon as the Avalanche player would put any type of pressure, they turn it back around. There was times when the Ducks literally got chased from the offensive zone all the way to the back behind their net because they were just so aggressive up with speed. And it's one of those teams where you have to respect, like, those guys. Yeah, they're being aggressive on the forecheck, and sometimes that can lead to glaring holes to where you could take advantage and kind of break out and score on the rush. But the Avalanche team is just, they're so quick and they're so fast at recovering that you have to respect that. So you can't really, try to pick off that aggressive guy and have a hole. They're covering everyone. They were just swallowing up the Ducks and just getting hounded. Like that was the unfortunate part for Anaheim. They didn't take any advantage of the opportunities given to them. They had a few power plays this game, and they couldn't score on the power play. Really couldn't even get set up. That penalty kill by Colorado was up in their face and active sticks and popping pucks into the corners. And as soon as they would get a hold of that puck, they were flinging that thing out of the zone. And couple of times where Beckett Seneca had chances this game. He got hit with a Zellweger bomb right in the back of the calf, had to crawl to the bench for a minute, and he leaves right towards the end of the second. Fortunately, he comes back during the third. Kind of, you could see he was a little shooken up in that third period, I thought. But throughout the first period, second period, there were chances for him. Like, he was trying to be too unselfish. Like, I think that's a conversation that he just has to have, like someone has to have with him, or he's just got to get into his head. Like, he's trying to be the team guy. Like, he's not trying to be this selfish rookie, but there were chances where he could have taken a shot or put the puck on net at least. And he kind of went for the pass or tried to be a little too conservative. And I think even the broadcast was calling out that there were chances for him and he should have put the puck on net or should have taken the shot, had it on his forehand. So just those rookie things that'll come through eventually. And I get it. You don't want to be greedy too much. You want to earn your respect to your teammates, but there are definitely some times where he could have been a little bit more selfish with the puck. In regards to the overall play, yeah, the score was 4-1, but I felt like the Ducks overall played a pretty matched game with Colorado once they got under control. Like, once they kind of figured out they could play with them. And on the broadcast, they said they came out almost over respecting them in the first and gave up too much space. And that's kind of where that first goal came. And they were getting a little hemmed in. And later they started to take over. And you can kind of see it in the numbers. Both teams were equal in shots on goals. Dostal had his work cut out for him today. The faceoffs were nearly 50-50. Avs just coming out on top with 51.7%. The Ducks gave the Avs 4 penalties, though, one of which was a delay of game penalty by Ian Moore, a slash by Trouba. There was I forget what a couple of the goalie interference. Yeah, Lacombe it was kind of tough. Lacombe came in, he was crashing the net. He tried to stop, but then got pinched between the Colorado defenseman and Wedgwood. So they got the goalie interference on that one. And then I think it was interference or roughing or something on Zellweger. So I can't really remember the fourth one right now. I don't have it in front of me, but can't be giving up those power plays. The Avalanche did capitalize on one of those, getting a goal. Ducks only had 2 power plays this entire game, so not a lot of calls going their way. There was a couple times where Brent Burns slashed Leo Carlsson's stick, broke it in half, no call there. Dude's getting run over. It was. I'm not gonna go that direction, but there definitely was some whistles held when it was Avalanche players causing stuff to happen. So little one-sided there. But again, the Avs just hounded the Ducks. They were the faster team. They came out quicker. They look a lot more confident and solid with the speed and transition, and like their passing was so crisp, tape to tape, especially in the zone. Dudes were just getting kind of turned into a blender out there with how quick they can pass that puck around. Not all of it's doom and gloom, though. I think that they giveaways were just their bane of their existence tonight. Like, they just kept giving the puck up, not making smart plays, putting the pucks into bad space. And that's kind of what took away their momentum, but they played decently enough. They kept trying to create chances. Gauthier was getting shots on, just a little snake bit, and we'll get into that. And They had a great weekend before this too. They were taking out Vegas and Winnipeg in their first back-to-back of the season, and it was in high-flying fashion. And we'll get into that and kind of just see where the Ducks are. And it's like I said, not all doom and gloom. They weren't going to win every single game. We have to remember that. Just wish there could have been a little bit more of offensive pop in this one. But again, a fun weekend just before, and we'll get into all that right after this. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, even my skin. That's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. I like using Drip Drop as part of my daily routine. I'll mix a packet in the morning before the gym or during that midday slump. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use promo code locked on NHL. That's dripdrop.com, promo code locked on NHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. So prior to the weekend, I said I was going to be pleased with the Ducks if they could take 3 out of the 4 points in the back-to-back between Vegas and the Winnipeg Jets. And guess what? The Ducks came out with all 4. So I was very, very pleased with those results. They took the lead from Vegas out there. Vegas got the first goal. Anaheim comes out, gets the lead against Vegas, ends up with a 3-1 game going into the third. However, they do give up 2 goals in that third period to allow Vegas to tie it, and it headed to overtime. And Jacob Trouba calls game with a beautiful move right in front of the net, just making nasty moves. Jacob Trouba's on a tear right now, man. This guy, he's been absolutely killing it for Anaheim. 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points, 16 games played. Gets the assist today on the Leo Carlsson goal in the Avs game. So Trouba out there just killing it right now. Does get his second penalty with that slash in tonight's game as well. But he's been playing pretty disciplined hockey. And then the Ducks, after the Vegas game, getting that OT win, they come home against Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's a good road team. And I was a little worried that they might have their hands full with the Jets, but nope. Ducks came out. They were flying out there. They played extremely well. Beckett Seneca, he gets the scoring started, gets a nice drop pass from Cutter Goche against the wall and pops that one right in. Beautiful goal by the kid. And then he ends up exchanging goals basically with Leo Carlsson because Leo Carlsson gets a power play goal. Then Beckett Seneca gets the Ducks' third goal, and Leo Carlsson gets a second power play goal. So the power play was definitely on fire against Winnipeg. 2 out of 4 power play chances. They're doing extremely well when they can get that power play set up. That was kind of the downfall of the team against the Avalanche tonight. They just could not get their power play set up in a good where they had domination, they could move the puck and they were in control. It was just such an aggressive penalty kill by Colorado that nothing really came of it. But looking at how things came together with the team in the weekend, unfortunately, Cutter Goche kind of snake bitten when it comes to getting goals. He got that 11th goal and just hasn't scored a goal since, but he did get a couple of points against Winnipeg, pointless in Vegas, although there was some pretty spread out scoring going on. For just wasn't there for the goals that did go in. And then gets 2 assists on both Seneca goals and against Winnipeg at the home game on that back-to-back. So getting some points still, but hasn't been able to find the back of the net again tonight. He had a few shots, some pretty good shots on net, and Wedgwood was just solid when he got those shots off. So trying to get that back of the net again after that 11th goal, but still unable to keep that lead as Leo Carlsson gets his 11th goal. So now they are both tied in the lead for the team with 11 goals. Leo Carlsson leading the entire team in points. So again, Hart Trophy candidate. And then looking at the Ducks record overall, they are currently in second place in the entire NHL right now with 16 games played, 11 wins, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss, 23 points. They are tied with the New Jersey Devils and the Dallas Stars in regards to points wise. However, so the Devils have the exact same record right now. They are 16 games, 11 wins, 4 losses, 1 OT loss. Exact same record. Dallas, though, they dropped down because they have 17 games played, 10 wins, 4 losses, and 3 overtime losses. That's what's bringing them up with points there. Those extra OT losses, which would have loved to see Anaheim get this game tonight to overtime, but just couldn't get that going. In regards to the Pacific, though, Anaheim Ducks right there at the top. They lead the Pacific, a pretty lofty lead with those 23 points as LA's behind them with 20 right now. In the Pacific, it goes Anaheim, LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, and then in the Central, it is Colorado, who leads the league right now in points. They are the top team, as we saw, unfortunately, against Anaheim tonight. But Colorado, Dallas, and Winnipeg is the Central. And then the wild card is Chicago and Vegas. So a Central and Pacific split in the wild card spots right now. And to see the Ducks up in second place, I mean, we're getting to that point where we're almost a quarter of the way through this season already, and the Ducks are up there. They keep racking in points. I think they're going to go into Detroit really head full of confidence. I don't think they're going to let this loss to Colorado deter them. I think they're going to take those lessons learned because there was a lot of them, a lot of takeaways from the game against Colorado, but definitely some things to work on. But it's not bad. I think they know what they have to do. They know where the mistakes are, and I absolutely trust Joel Quenneville, Jay Woodcroft, Gilly, all those guys to figure out how to fix those mistakes and to minimize them in the rest of these games coming forward. And they're going to go full steam ahead against the Detroit Red Wings in their next game. And I think they're going to keep racking up those points. And if they can just keep getting, exchanging chances, a win here, an OT there, and just keep getting those points going, there's no reason why these guys cannot stay up in the top of this Pacific Division. So definitely not what I was expecting. I was not thinking that the Ducks were going to be at this position. I thought they'd be battling for maybe the wild card right now, kind of struggling, hanging on right there in the fight, but they are setting the example of what the fight looks like. And they went head to head against the Avalanche. They just couldn't capitalize on those chances. They're going to learn from these mistakes. They're going to get things tightened down. Beckett Seneca coming back from that little injury that he had. That's good to see. You're going to have Mikhail Granlund coming back soon. Ryan Strome should be coming back here shortly. And we got Radko Gudas. All these guys coming in. We didn't even see Sam Colangelo in tonight. He's been out for a little bit. So there's a lot of hungry guys and a lot of guys that are going to want to play hard and play tough. And, you saw at the end of this game against Colorado, Quenneville not afraid to set the tone, setting up the fourth liners to just rack up some hits. They ended up taking over the hit column because of that. They basically were just rocking bodies. So definitely trying to leave that little message like, hey, we're not out of this fight. We're coming for you, and I think we're gonna have some healthy competition between the Avs and the Ducks this year. So looking forward to when they get to play again later down the line. So keep your head up. We're gonna have to take some L's here. Basically just saying that so I don't freak out and start screaming myself. So, we're keeping calm, right, guys? But thank you for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Go like and subscribe to Locked On Anaheim Ducks on YouTube as well. Go follow us on social media. Have a chat. And as always, I'm Kyle Carr. Be good out there.